Hello and welcome back to the channel, Kelly Legends Media. Before I begin, I want to thank all the subscribers, all of you who come by and watch the videos, that hit those like buttons, hit those hype buttons. I really appreciate you. Thank you for all the prayers for my grandson. I really appreciate those very much. That being said, okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about some things that I've noticed, right? And they're regarding not only Goldtoes, but just individuals that are on social media. Now, I don't know Goldtoes personally. All I know is what I've heard, what I've read. And there was a dude on the No Paperwork podcast that was saying that some people felt some sort of way towards this dude because he's friends with SPN. If you don't know who the SPM is he's a dude that I believe he was working with Goldtoes for a minute, and he got arrested and convicted for messing with minors. Okay, so he's been in prison for several years now, and I believe there was a clip that Goldtoes came out in with this guy in the attorney room. It was an actual live filming of him being there with this guy. And the question was, what is he doing hanging around these kind of people? You know, and that's number one. Okay. Another thing is, I guess some guys up north feel some sort of way with the people that he deals with in general, you know. Although, yeah, you could say he's a businessman, he's this, that, and the other. But he was at one time representing them on their cause. And they feel that he kind of sat that aside to make money, okay? So that's the example I wanted to use with Goldtoes for this video. But basically what the video's about, it's not about Goldtoes. It's about the way people look at you by the people you associate with, you know. They have different sayings, you know. If you want to soar like an eagle, don't hang around with a bunch of turkeys, right? Show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. You know, different little sayings that pretty much allude to the people you surround yourself with is probably because you're into what they're into. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you some real life examples that we all go through. You know, we have friends, maybe if you left, say, a life in a neighborhood where you were caught up on drugs or whatever, and you hung around with the people that did drugs. Well, if you're hanging around with the people that do drugs, you're still going to be associated with those people and doing the things that they do, right? Anyways, that's why successful people always surround themselves with other successful people, you know, so they could learn from them, you know, and get ideas, you know, that would help them come up, right? So even on social media, man, ever since I began, you know, people were, let's say, pulling covers on different people. Oh, that vato's a dropout. Oh, that vato locked it up over here. Oh, this vato, this, that, and the other. You know, oh, this dude been lying all this time. Here's this paperwork that proves it. You get what I'm saying? And anybody that would continue to associate with these people have been put in that same category with them, you know? I'll give you an example with me personally. Let's say with Chicano Tube. You know, Chicano Tube, I've never spoke with him. Okay, I never had a conversation with him, never discussed anything with him. About the only thing he's seen was my videos, my responses, things like that. Okay, but for whatever reason, he had mentioned me quite a bit and made me this general on his YouTube method, which doesn't exist, but part of the YouTube game. You understand? Anyways, bottom line is people were getting at me, telling me, "Oh, this dude's this, that, and the other," and like I told him, I never see no paperwork on this particular individual. You know what I mean? If you got it, shoot it. You know, and other individuals that are self-proclaimed went out like that. Obviously, I keep myself separate from them. I might make a comment or something, but I don't do videos with them. I don't go on their channels or their podcast or anything, for a simple reason that I don't want to be associated as the person that does that, because I might end up in jail someday. I don't know. With my luck, it could happen. So, I sit back and I watch people and, oh yeah, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of that. And these guys are like this, but this guy's okay. And this one, oh, he's all right. Like picking and choosing, either you're down with them or you're not. It's simple. Either, you're going to be associated by, how can I say, pumping people up about them, or co-signing what they say, or just being involved with their channel. They're doing their thing. In fact, most of the channels are done by creators who have locked it up at some point. That doesn't mean they don't have experience in prison. They didn't spend years in prison. They didn't see a lot and go through a lot. That goes without saying, but it's just different, especially if you end up in behind the walls, And I know a lot of you think, oh, well, I'm not going to end up behind the wall anyway, so what do I got to worry about? You just never know, man. You never know. Anything could happen any day, especially if you're one of these content warriors and stuff, and you like to create conflict and talk madness and all that. You never know, man. You piss somebody off one day, they'll come after you, and it's weird to me. It's something new to me. It's social media, you know what I mean? But that prison stuff actually carried on to the TV to some extent. Not everybody cares about that. Not everybody stays away from that type of person. You get what I'm saying? But to each his own. You know what I'm saying? But I noticed that, if you're supporting somebody who's a suspected chomo, you're gonna catch some flack. Even if they're just a suspected dropout, meaning, who knows, maybe it came from their homeboys. Maybe their homeboys know, hey, so-and-so locked it up, and they knew all along, and he gets out and he starts a channel, and they're like, oh, that's that fool that locked it up. You know what I mean? The word gets around. But for us who don't know, especially if they're from another side of the say California, we got to see some paperwork. We don't know these people. They're strangers to us. But like I say, man, people associate you with who you hang with, man. That's why I don't go on nobody's podcast. I don't, I just don't need the extra funk and the extra headaches. You know what I mean? And yeah, just be careful who your friends are, who you hang around with, who you speak highly of, and who you support, because it really matters to some people, you know. And if you ever end up in their world, I don't know, you know, things could go bad for you. Never know, you know. I've heard people say, "Hey, Lucky, you're already fucked." You know, you already got on YouTube, this, that, and the other. Well, I think somebody will let me know if I'm fucking up. You know, I asked that I be let known, and so I could, you know, do what I got to do. And I haven't heard anything. So as far as I know, I so far so good. You know, sometimes, you know, something wants to come out and I have to hold it back. You know, and like I said, man, if I talk about the things that I know and have done, my channel would blow up. But it would also be detrimental to a lot of people, which is absolutely like unacceptable to me. So in any case, people, just be careful with who your friends are and stuff, because you know what? I've walked out of a store saying goodbye to a few camaradas and walked back in because I forgot to get something that, you know, I was going to get. And here I'm talking smack behind my back. You know what I mean? And these are people that I've grown up with all my life. You know, people that call me carnal, brother, this, that, and the other. You know, and you know, just goes to show you. You know, you just never know. You know. So, anyways, people, this is my video for today. Those of you who know why this video was made, and those of you who understand and have understanding or get the drift. Anyways, people, thank you for watching. This video's gone on way too long. I hope you guys are still awake. God bless you. God bless your families, man, all your loved ones. Take care. Stay free. Hope to see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.